Hi, and welcome back to Algebra 1, and more specifically, evaluating numerical expressions. Our goal for today is to continue looking at how to use order of operations to evaluate when we have a numerical expression. However, our grouping symbol for today is going to be absolute value bars, which changes our process a tiny bit from just having parentheses, brackets, or curly braces as a grouping symbol. So everything we've learned so far still applies. We're going to make one change per new line. We're still operating with just what are called numerical expressions, or just problems that have numbers and stuff to do with those numbers. So we're still over here, no letters yet, nothing involved with a variable in the problem, just numbers. What do I do with those numbers? But the grouping symbols are going to be our straight up and down absolute value bars, where inside of here there's going to be some math grouped for us to perform. So let's look at some examples. PEMDAS is not changing, but please remember your absolute value bars are a grouping symbol which lands here in the letter P. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS, however you're remembering your order of operations. All right, so in your note packet, number 7, again, if you have to hit pause to get organized, go ahead and hit pause because we're starting right away. All right, please remember that a number directly touching any grouping symbol, so number parenthesis, number bracket, number square root, number absolute value bar, right side by side, is really a hidden operation of multiplication. So this being side by side like this really is the operation that's hidden there, that's not written but implied, is multiplication. So my suggestion would be put in your little dot there to remind yourself that when the bars disappear, I still have a sort of a hidden operation there that I need to perform a multiplication. All right, so we have 5 times the absolute value of 18 minus 24 plus 3 to the third power. So we want to start inside of our grouping symbol like we've been doing. Inside our absolute value bars, there's one thing of subtract. Now, the thing that's different about absolute value is those bars can't just disappear, right? If these were parentheses, we would do 18 minus 24. The parentheses could go away. We'd bring down the 5 times, and we would keep going. In this case, the bars are a question or a math step themselves. They can't just go poof, gone, so be careful. So we need to bring down 5. We need to bring down times. And we still need these absolute value bars here. We can't just go poof, gone with them, all right? Because there's a math step to do because of the bars themselves. So we're going to do the math on the inside. We're going to do the 18 minus 24. If you don't like this version, you could do your key change and make this plus negative 24, right? That would be the same problem. 18 minus 24 or 18 plus negative 24 then would give us a negative 6 on the inside here. Bring down the plus and the 3 to the third. All right, we're still working on grouping symbols. We're still right here in letter P because we haven't finished everything dealing with the grouping yet. So we're still working right here. So our next question is, if I gave you that problem last week, what's the absolute value of negative 6? Remember, that's really saying how far from 0 on a number line is negative 6? Or what's its distance? Remember, that's going to be a positive value. You're counting from 0. You're going to end up with a counting number, right? A number without a negative sign. So 5 times negative 6 is 6 away from 0. Or your shortcut is pull this number out and make it a positive when it's inside an absolute value bar. So plus our times 6, and then so plus our 3 to the third power. All right, we're done with our groupings. There's no other parentheses or brackets or anything in this problem. All right, now we're looking for powers or exponents next, which is this 3 to the third. Bring down 5 times 6 plus 3 to the third is not 3 times 3, so be careful. Is 3 times 3 times 3 again, which is a 27. All right, no more exponents. We're looking for multiplies and divides. There's one multiply here. 5 times 6 would give us a new value of 30. Bring down our plus 27. All right, the last thing left in the problem is an add. So 30 plus 27 then will give us our final result here of 57. All right, let's try another one like that with the absolute value bars in the original problem. All right, again, if you have to hit the pause so that you can fill things in, we're going to move and groove right away. All right, 13 minus 2, hidden operation of multiplication right here, add it in, right? These are side by side. Times the absolute value of negative 5 minus 10 times 4 plus 13. All right, we've got to start inside our grouping symbols, which are absolute value bars. So inside these bars, We have subtract. We have, these are side by side. Number grouping symbol is a multiplication. So 10 times 4 plus 3. So we have subtract, multiply, add. We don't have parentheses in there because there's nothing inside it. There's nothing grouped inside with the 4. So it's just showing multiplication there. All right, so out of subtract, multiply, add, this times would come first. Everything else is coming down unchanged. 13 minus 2 times absolute value, negative 5, minus 10 times 4, which is a 40, plus 13, close in the absolute value bars. All right, we're not done inside of our grouping symbols yet, so we need to keep working in there. Now all that's left is add and subtract, so we go from left to right. All right, don't skip the subtract and go to the add. We don't do that. All right, 13 minus 2 times absolute value, negative 5 minus 40 would give us a negative 45. Bring down our plus 13. Fill in the absolute value. All right, we're going to finish the add on the inside of the absolute value, but we haven't answered the absolute value yet. So your next step still has bars. Don't forget. Bring down 13 minus 2 and times. All we're doing is this inside portion of the absolute value. We haven't done anything on with the actual bars yet. So negative 45 plus 13 would give us a negative 32. All right, we're not quite done here with letter P because we still haven't finished our grouping symbols of what's the absolute value of negative 32. So that's our next step. 13 minus 2 times. And we're going to do this, what's the absolute value of negative 32? Or how far if we counted from 0 is negative 32, which is just a positive 32. Or a shortcut, pull that negative 32 out, make it a positive when it's an absolute value question. All right, we're done with our grouping symbol, in this case of absolute value bars. There are no exponents. There is a multiply, so we're going to go there next. 13 minus 2 times 32 would give us a 64. And then finally, one last thing of subtraction to finish, 13 minus 64, which would give us a negative 51. The final answer. All right, number 9, last 2 in our packet. 14 plus the absolute value, 4 minus 8 minus 11 times 3 plus 2 to the third. No hidden multiplication here because there's no numbers outside here. So I don't have to put a little dot there as a reminder. All right, we're going to work inside our groupings or our absolute values. Inside there we have subtract, subtract, multiply. In order of operations, multiply will happen first. So 14 plus absolute value, 4 minus 8 minus 11 times 3 is a 33. Bring down our 2 to the third. That's being added in the back. All right, we're still not done inside our grouping symbols. We got to keep working inside of there one change at a time. All that's left is 2 subtractions, so we have to go from left to right. All right, bring down 14 plus absolute value. 4 minus 8 would give us a negative 4. Bring down, subtract 33. Bring down our absolute values and our plus 2 to the third power. All right, we're not done on the inside. Finish inside of there. We're going to do our negative 4 minus 33 next. That will give us a negative 37, still inside of bars. You need your bars still. We didn't say, what's the absolute value yet? They're still there. So 14 plus the absolute value of negative 37 plus 2 to the third power would be what's left of our step. All right, now we have to finish by saying how far if we counted from 0 would negative 37 be, which is 37 away from 0. Or shortcut, I pull this number out, I make it a positive when it's an absolute value. So 14 plus positive 37 plus a 2 to the third power. All right, we're done with our grouping symbols. We're looking for exponent next, which is right here. So 14 plus 37 plus 2 to the third power, which is a 2 times a 2 times a 2 again, which is not 2 times 3, so just be careful, which is an 8. All right, exponents are done. There's no multiply or divide. There are a couple of addition problems, so we have to go from left to right. All right, 14 plus 37 then would give us a new amount of 51. Bring down our plus 8, finish, and we'll end up here with a 59. Good final. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Count them on your paper. Underneath the original, I should have 7 additional lines or 8 total steps or lines of work on my piece of paper. All right, last one. Again, if you have to hit pause, we are ready to go. 12 plus the absolute value of negative 3 Right next to a parenthesis means the hidden operation multiply. I'm going to put that in there. Negative 3 times 4 plus negative 16 minus 7, all minus a negative 4. All right, we got to start inside of our groupings. We have multiply, add, subtract. In this order, multiply happens first. Everything else down. So 12 plus absolute value. Negative 3 times 4 would give us a negative 12 plus a negative 16 in here, a minus 7. Back here, a minus and a negative 4. All right, we're not done inside our absolute value bars. We have add and subtract, so we have to go from left to right. All right, keep going here. So 12 plus absolute value. Negative 12 plus another negative 16 would give us negative 28. Bring down the subtract 7. Don't forget your absolute value bar. Bring down the minus negative 4. All right, keep working inside the absolute value bars. A negative 28 minus a 7 would give us a negative 35. So 12 plus absolute value of negative 35 minus a negative 4. All right, we're not done with our letter P over here because we haven't finished. What's the absolute value of negative 35? So that question is really saying if I counted from 0 to negative 35, how far would we count, which would be 35? Or the shortcut, take it out, pull it out, make it positive. So 12 plus 35, no more bars, minus a negative 4. All right, we're done with our groupings. There are no exponents here. There's no multiplication or division. There is some add and subtract, so we go left to right for the rest of the problem. So 12 plus 35 would just give us a 47 minus a negative 4. If you don't like this, you could do keep, change, or add the opposite. 47 minus negative 4 or 47 plus positive 4 are the same thing. You don't have to. You can leave it as minus negative. It'll get you to the same exact result of positive 51. All right, I hope that helps you out with your absolute value evaluating problems.